If I can figure out how. All right, I think we are now. Well, hello again, everybody.
I think your
Welcome
wife's
to the
probably...
25.4 podcast.
Isn't your wife kind of waiting on you to figure out how?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
On major issues of the day.
Yes, that's us. And we're here.
And we still
Episode
haven't
number
upgraded the soundboard.
34. You know, I realized that it's actually, I wrote it as a universal app, so that was my first universal app ever. Of course, it's for Windows Phone 8.1 and Windows 8.1. So, yeah.
So last show you were like, well, we're not going to do the sound things anymore. And now you totally surprised me. I stepped on your intro and everything because I didn't know we were doing the soundboard thing again. Did I miss the production notes?
The show is like, I don't know what it's like.
Should we recap why we're still on Blab? I think that summarizes up the whole essence of the show. Why are we still on Blab, Andrew?
Why are we?
Because of my laziness.
There we go. See, that's why the soundboard is here and gone. And
Well, we also weren't really doing show notes either, except that Brandon took the effort to do it, and I went in and started looking at them, and he actually has quite a bit in there, and it's under the different sections and stuff. I was like, well, I guess at least for Brandon, we'll humor him and do it like a real show.
I kind of take shit seriously over here. I mean,
yeah, you're the one.
I'm the one, exactly. Me and where's the cricket sound? I can't even play my cricket sound now because we're on fucking.
Now that was in Hangouts. Need a new one. So what's up, guys? Robert and Brandon are joining me tonight. Tim is away on assignment.
Caracas, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Hey, are you gonna leave the force seat open, or are you gonna lock it so no yahoos are constantly bugging you to get in?
Well, I was kind of hoping maybe we could get a Yahoo to.
Can we get John Legere to join us real quick?
Well, it would probably help if we pronounce his name correctly.
Yeah, it's Ledger.
Did I pronounce it wrong? I thought I was doing it super proper. What is it?
You pronounce it the way Archie Coder would pronounce it.
Yeah.
You tried to you made it too French.
It looks French.
It's Ledger.
Oh, I'm sure it probably is French, but he's American, so it's just Ledger.
It's straight up Ledger, like my ledger that I take my finances in.
Yeah.
Well, he's spelling it wrong.
Spelled differently.
Yeah,
So
he's spelling it wrong there.
Somebody was calling in, but what I'm hoping for is for maybe somebody watching that has done a Surface Book review to be out there watching that might ring in.
No.
The only one that might actually be doing that would be Brad Sam. So I don't know if he's out there or not. But I shouted out to him.
I think he's legit away on assignment.
Oh, that's too bad. All right, I'm gonna lock the seat now. Anyway, I guess we'll just get started and get right into it. Unless anyone objects, judging by your silence, no one is. And we always start with
the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
We do have problems. And I know Brandon does because he put them into the show notes.
I think Bobby should go first.
Wow. I'm thinking.
I got yelled at for talking too much in my church group tonight, so.
Is that your first grievance?
Christians got mad at you for talking too much.
And judgmental?
It's not so much.
What?
Not so much Christian as my wife.
Oh, okay. So
I tend to talk too much in group settings. Not that you guys have noticed that at all.
No. Although I don't. This whole me going.
I have the best friends in the world.
Me going first feels like a trap, but okay. I would love to. Would you shut the fuck up?
Can
with the phone?
Can we mute him?
My God!
I just did. I don't know why we have a phone anyway.
Why do you have a landline?
let alone one that rings. Who the hell's calling?
It's not technically a landline. It's a VoIP service.
Aren't they all anymore?
But I never answer the phone. I never answer any phone, whether it's that the home phone or my cell phone. I will rarely answer.
You're one of those people.
Cell phone.
You're one of those people.
I don't want to talk to people.
I can't even get my husband to answer the damn phone when I call. He's like that too.
That sounded like a grievance.
No, that won't be tonight's grievance. Tonight's grievance is the Windows 10 mobile Pollyanna crowd.
Oh, that would. You know what would have been great? Tonight's grievance is brought to you by the number 72. Because it ends 10. Isn't it 10-5-72?
Now I get it.
Sorry, if I have to explain it, it wasn't funny. I know.
Well, if you'd given me the whole build number, it would have, sunk in. But when you said 72, I was thinking virgins, and I'm like, are we transitioning into jihadism or something tonight? What's that all about?
Of course, you were thinking about virgins.
Oh yeah. No, it's. I have tremendous respect for people that believe that this latest build is all just so on the cusp of RTM, and I guess if you put it exactly that way, on the cusp of RTM, on the cusp of being ready, maybe it just depends. I think on how you define ready, and it doesn't meet my definition of ready.
Yeah,
it just doesn't.
I kind of said the same thing to, like I said it to Carl Schweitzer today. I said it needs to be ready enough that an iOS or an Android user wouldn't complain while using it, and that's not the case. I mean, I haven't used 72. Full disclosure, I'm still on whatever the previous one was.
Well, I have put 72 on my 1520. That's where my SIM's at right now, and that's probably where it'll stay for the next week or so until the next build comes out. I don't want to bump the 930 up to that build just yet.
What'd you do with your 830?
The 830, I turned in. I paid the balance to upgrade to the iPhone so that for the Uber gig, and I turned my 830 in. Send it back. So, but we'll see. Once I'm waiting for the upgrade bug to be ready, and when that is ready, that's when I'll do the 930. I do know that restoring from a backup is broken.
Well, I'm really glad I didn't do it.
Two builds. Now, I haven't gone through and looked at exactly my start screen layout was fine after I did a restore. But I did get this in the last two builds doing a restore on these phones. I've gotten messages at the end. Some settings couldn't be restored. It doesn't tell you what. Just make sure everything looks the way you want it.
Something went wrong.
Something went wrong. You basically gotta go dig around and figure out what the fuck went wrong.
God.
It seemed to pull. It didn't seem to be an issue with the installed apps. It didn't seem to be an issue with the start screen layout, the background, or the accent color. So it's somewhere in settings, and I haven't gone and digging around for it yet. But two builds in a row now, that's happened. So I also discovered what I think is a rather interesting bug. I happen to have the 1520, the 920, and the 930 all out on the desk today, and I was doing backups. And I did the 920 first. The 920 is the most recent one. It's got the cleanest install with no mail or anything downloaded on it. No messages synced or anything. And I did a backup of it. It was 237 megabytes. And when I went over to the 1520, which has been running a previous version of previous build up until today, it said its backup size was also 237 megabytes. I was like, that doesn't seem correct. And then I went over to the 930, which was definitely running the previous build, and looked, and it too said its backup size was 237 megabytes. And I'm like, No, that's not going to happen. That's not correct. So I went back to the 920 and I hit backup again, and it apparently had grown to 240 megabytes in between the backup sessions. And then as I went back through the devices, they were all now 240 megabytes in size. So it looks
That's what I was gonna suggest. I bet what you're seeing is the
the
size
last
of
backup.
the last backup on
It's
OneDrive.
not
That's what you're seeing.
differentiating, but even though your backups are by device, it's not differentiating when it's looking at the size. It's just grabbing the last one. So
Yeah.
that's been, and I've been trying to prove that theory out by going to the 930, which has been the longest running build without a restore and doing a backup. But for some reason, it kept having issues where I couldn't get it to back up today. So, but of course, that could just be OneDrive because OneDrive's been wonky kind of all day anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that was my roundabout grievance.
What were you grieving about again?
Pollyannas.
That's right.
Pollyannas. And unicorns. And puppies.
So really with Windows 10 Mobile, we shouldn't be saying RTM, right?
No, I don't know that. I would think that it was going to be very similar to the way Windows rolled around. RTM wouldn't be in the vernacular, but who knows? I won that battle once. I'm not going to fight it again.
Come on. Then the other thing that popped into my head was, well, is Windows 10 Desktop really ready for release or RTM yet?
Threshold 2? TH2?
And that's supposed to be coming soon
Yeah.
now, I think.
November.
Well, I think that if you clean install Windows 10, 10.240, which was the RTM version of Windows 10, I think you have a pretty decent experience. I still think they are sorely lacking in the upgrade experience. I mean, just going from 8.1 to 10 on our home desktop here, my wife is still complaining about things that aren't quite right. And I can't imagine coming from 7 all the way up. I mean, I just can't imagine what those people are experiencing. So I think it's kind of typical Windows-ness in that fresh installs are still the best. But then with Windows 10, they introduced all those activation headaches if you use 240. So, coming soon. TM. It gets better, TM.
And see, and that isn't that really the problem? Is it will always, just like I said to Rick Laws today, we're always one update away from greatness. And
Yeah.
And that's not a recent thing either. I mean, that's kind of always.
it's
either.
not. I mean, my bitching lately, I guess, has just been because I finally hit that wall of tolerance. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, really?
And that's both from the consumer side and the developer side too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's why I said what I said about the 72 build that everybody's raving about. It might be better than the past builds of Windows 10 Mobile, but if you hand somebody a Windows phone running 10.572, you hand them an iPhone and you hand them an Android, they better have equal quality of experience across those three devices. And the fact of the matter is, I highly doubt you will. As a daily driver, I highly doubt you're going to have an equal quality of experience across those three. And that's where I think Windows 10 Mobile is going to fail. They're going to release, let's say 75 ends up being the build they kick out next month. Obviously, it won't be because they've got a whole another month. But let's say 75 is it, right? There's no way. I mean, given the stuff Bobby's seen with the resuming and loading, who's going to put up with that on an iPhone that's snappy as hell? Why would anybody put up with that? So I think that they're going to end up releasing next month just to get the 950 and 50 XLs out the door. And it's going to be the same shit, different day we're always one update away from greatness. That's what it's going to be.
And the problem with the mobile platform is they can talk about how they're going to deliver updates, but we're 5 years into this mess, and when Microsoft says we're going to deliver updates, I don't believe a fucking word anybody says about that.
Yeah, I think you had a great point today on Twitter about Wallet. I mean, really, guys? When Wallet came out, they said what it was gonna be. And it didn't even come close to turning into anything useful. Not a single time did I ever find Wallet actually useful. Ever. And I tried very, very hard to get Wallet to be useful. I tried really hard.
The only thing, I'll tell you, the one fucking use I ever found for Wallet was my PIN numbers for my debit card, because you used to be able to go in and edit the comment on an entry in your wallet, and I could put my PIN number in there. That way, if I ever forgot what it was, I could look it up and it would still be secure behind my passcode. And then when 8.1 comes along and they update Wallet, what did they do? They fucking took that away. It's the only goddamn useful thing about it, and they took it away. Never opened it again. So fuck it. It's.
I mean, I would grab those reward card apps where you could scan your reward cards in. Every single one of them that even made a mention of a hint of having wallet integration on Windows Phone, I grabbed every single one I could because I wanted my reward zone for Best Buy, my CVS pharmacy, all of those things in my wallet app and pop up the barcode and scan. I wanted that more than anything. I just wanted that to be the useful part of Wallet. NFC payments, I gave up on that a long time ago. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. I wanted that more than anything. But could they actually do that with Wallet? No, you still had to open the third-party app to make it happen. I wanted that so badly. I was going to settle for that and never gripe about NFC payments again. But
they can get away with this deferred greatness for a while on the desktop because they have the kind of control over the update process that they need. They're not going to be able to pull that off when they're selling the phone through the carrier. Now, granted, the majority of these sales will probably not be through AT&T. They will probably be Best Buy, Staples, Amazon, the Microsoft Store. They'll be the unlocked devices. And those will get updates. So they've got some flexibility there. At least,
but will they get firmware updates? That's a question.
Oh, well, yeah, of course they would get firmware updates. Microsoft is delivering for an unlocked phone. Yes, Microsoft is delivering the update. It didn't go through the carrier. Microsoft will still be able to update the firmware. That's not an issue.
Really?
Now, that's not to say that, I don't know, somebody couldn't pull a Verizon and decide to say, fuck all 950s. You're not getting on our network at all. There's nothing
started. You're trying to get me started.
You're
trying to get me started.
AT&T
Don't get me started.
The same nonsense. So, who knows how that's going to work out. But
I'm just, again, I'll beat a dead horse all day long. I'm just super disappointed that Microsoft threw all of those bands and all of those antennas into the 950 and XL and didn't bother to look at the single largest carrier in the United States and throw its connectivity in. That just boggles my flipping mind. I don't care how bad Verizon has treated Microsoft in the past. You say you want to go where your customers are. You hardware ignored.
Okay, you and what army are customers, Windows Phone customers on Verizon?
No, I'm just saying. Well, you can't tell me there's Windows Phone customers on AT&T, a huge whole lot of them either. Most of them are overseas, right?
They're not on Verizon. There's more on AT&T than...
Yeah, but they're not. That's a cart and horse situation just as much as the app gap. They're not on Verizon because Verizon doesn't push it.
Well,
Verizon is an Android.
Or maybe they're not on Verizon because Verizon never offered a phone that was really worth a shit that hadn't been hobbled in some way, shape, or form.
I think the One M8 and the Icon were pretty damn decent.
The Icon was a decent phone, but it was hobbled. They hobbled it.
I don't know that I agree with that. This is a really good phone. The Icon is. It's a good phone.
I can't argue. I have a 930, and that's basically the same phone. It's prettier than the Icon.
I do like that
Well,
green.
just because you can get an interchangeable back on it.
No, this not.
Which,
Well, I mean, I
you know,
guess you
I
could,
didn't-
but it's not.
You know, one
designed
thing
for
they
that.
didn't brag up. You know, one thing I don't think they bragged up enough about the 950, replaceable battery.
Yeah.
I had no idea it had a replaceable battery until I watched the teardown video. I was like, oh shit! The back just snaps right off. I couldn't believe it had a replaceable battery in it. I thought those days were so far gone.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that actually is a good.
But anyway.
point.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Except for the fact that I haven't replaced the battery in a single fucking phone that I've ever owned, except for my Samsung Focus, and that was only in the hope.
Well,
that it
I
would
think that
get it out of its perpetual reboot cycle.
Yeah, and I think that back in the day, replacing the battery was necessary because those batteries developed a memory and blah, blah, blah. But I think battery technology as a whole has evolved to where that's become less and less necessary. Because I can say the same thing with my Icon. I still get a good long chunk of day out of it if I don't even bother to ever plug it in. Whereas, and this is a 2-year-old phone, 5 years ago, a 2-year-old phone, you'd never get the same usage out of it that you did on day one. So I think that battery tech has come a long way as well.
Really, nobody keeps phones for more than 2 years anymore. Anyway.
True. Yeah.
All right, I'm done bitching.
All right. Well,
Was that still yours?
that was still his technically, I believe.
Very mutual. It was like a mutual session.
So, of course, I didn't have this one on the list, but it just occurred to me as we talked about phones and batteries and Verizon. Of course, one of my grievances has to be Verizon throwing the middle finger to all us unlimited data customers that are holding on to our old plans and
It's about
raising the
damn
price
time.
by $20 a
You
month.
will get no
Now, I'm still not
sympathy.
quite
You
clear
will
if it's
find no
$20.
quarter of sympathy here. None.
I know you. I know y'all. It's because y'all are jealous. I still haven't got a very good clarification on whether it's going to be $20 per line or $20 for the plan. Makes a difference for me because that makes it either a change of $20 or $40. Either way, I think I'm still going to keep it, but it is just kind of a slap in the face. I know what they're trying to do.
Let's apply a little Occam's razor to this here, and we are talking about Verizon here. So, what do you think those facts are going to mean? That it will probably be what?
It's going to be $40.
Yeah, it's going to be $20 a line.
The reality of the situation is
the whole plan.
Right. The reality of the situation for me is, with my new job, I get a $60 a month cell phone allowance. So basically, it's a matter of me getting $60 shaved off my plan or $20 shaved off my plan.
Congratulations.
Either way, thank you very much. Either way, I'm going to keep it in part because I have a pretty good subsidy coming from work right now, so it's not going to affect me all that much. So that was number one. That's kind of painful. I think I'm still going to keep it. There was a really good analysis by Ask. I think her name's Matt. I think it's Ask Maggie on CNET, and she broke it down pretty good. Kind of gave like the breaking point at if your megabyte usage or if your gigabyte usage is this, you want to keep it. If it's on this line, you want to really heavily evaluate. If it's below this line, get rid of it and go to T-Mobile and get an unlimited plan if you're really that worried about it. So that was good, and I was high above the line that she drew. I think it was like 7 or 8 gig that she drew, and we averaged 12 to 13. So I'm not going to bother. The other grievance is we had an incident this past week of one of the actual developers at Slack Technologies who works on the Windows Phone app went into Atlee Hunter's Windows Phone app for Slack called Tartan, and he actually gave it a 1-star review and said that it was a cheap ripoff of the official Slack client, which, as many of you know, just came out for Windows Phone. Literally, while Atlee was in beta with a few dozen developers, all of us helping him out develop the Slack app, Slack finally came out with their Windows Phone client. And then after he released it, this developer, which we've well proven it was this developer, he's actually admitted that it was him and since apologized, but I'm still holding him to the fire, that he went in, gave a 1-star review on this app and said it was a cheap ripoff. Devs, we gotta be better about this. I don't care who you work for or what you do or what you write. We need this platform to succeed. We need every app on this platform to succeed. We need customers and users to see that every app on this platform is great. So I don't care if somebody else develops the same thing as Hashtastic. I can guarantee you that Robert wouldn't go 1 star the damn thing. So hold yourselves to a higher standard and realize that competition is never a bad thing. It makes everything better. And instead of bitching about it, go make your app better. Especially when you're supported by a company that got valued at $1.2 billion.
Are there no adults that work at that fucking company?
I honestly don't think there are.
I'm seriously asking, hey, Slack, do you guys employ anybody over the age of 12 mentally? Jesus Christ.
It was unbelievable. And Atlee, he's a great guy. If anybody knows him, he is an excellent dude. He's just a stand-up guy, and he's a powerhouse when it comes to app development.
Anybody that
he's a madman.
Anybody that knows how many Windows Phone apps that man has produced would never accuse him of ripping off somebody else's. That's not what he does.
Yeah, and he was talking to me, and he was saying he was genuinely torn up by this one-star review. And that's what lit a fire under me to figure out what in the heck happened here. And I traced it back in a matter of minutes to a developer at Slack.
How exactly were you able to do
that? It was a combination of Atlee giving me a link to the review because it wasn't in the English US store. It was in another culture. From there, since the Windows Phone and Microsoft Store post the first name of the user, I took that plus that, and I knew I had seen that first name somewhere. Turns out this person is a member of the WinDev Slack team. Found the person with that first name, looked him up on LinkedIn, saw he was indeed part of the Slack development team at Windows Phone, pasted a picture of the review in the WinDev team room, called his ass out, and he finally admitted to it.
Well, that does deserve a sincere.
Congratulations!
I clearly don't.
Nice work on your part.
Yeah, I clearly don't spend enough time in that Slack room.
I quit that Slack room because I thought it was a cesspool of ginormous egos.
So I don't go look at it.
You're not lying when you say that. There's quite a few in there that make me roll my eyes and do a fake, one of these multiple times a day.
You know what?
Thou shalt not question these folks ever.
Yeah, if I want to watch guys masturbate, I can do that on websites that are way hotter. So.
So yeah, I used to. I back in the day, which was a Wednesday, by the way. Any Dane Cook fans will get that. But back in high school, I used to pride myself on pulling off stunts like this. I would find people that were trolling chat rooms, and I would trace their IP addresses and then all of this stuff. And one night we actually called a guy straight up on the telephone, and he just about shat himself right there on the spot. But so I've done this many times, but that was relatively trivial.
Well, that is.
I will say that kind of immature behavior is one of the things I do miss from the Windows Slack. When you have all those egos together, sometimes that ensues. And so that can be entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, well done.
Yeah. My last grievance is a pretty superficial one. I don't have enough money for all the new things, and it makes me sad. Yeah, especially the new 1 terabyte, the 1 terabyte Surface Book. I would really love a lot. I did order my band too. Yeah, I did order my band too, so I'm excited to get that at the end of the month.
I keep checking the website every day to see if the fucker's shipped.
Are they shipping? Yeah. Are they supposed to be shipping the 26th?
It says ships by October 30th.
Yeah, I am waiting for my email that says, "Sorry, you couldn't fulfill your order. We ran out."
Yeah,
and then I will promptly cry a lot.
There'll be that.
Sure. And Lenovo's new Yoga 900. I really, really like. I am super stoked to see all these Ultrabooks come out with the 16 gig of RAM configuration. It's making me very, very happy. I was hoping this would be the holiday season that we'd start to see that, and sure enough, here they are. So that was my last grievance.
The yoga thing wasn't really a grievance, though. That was your affirmation.
It wasn't. Well, I don't have enough money for one, so it still fits in with my not enough monies.
I looked at the yoga when you posted the info and they announced that they had a 16 gig 512 version, and I forgot that it's kind of goofy looking as the hinges on the Surface Book. I think the Yoga's hinge is really ugly.
Really? You don't like that watch band hinge?
I don't like it at all. Yeah. And I like watch.
Really?
But I would never have a watch band that looks like that. I don't like that style of this.
I think it's sexy.
Would you like to hear about another Windows 10 75 bug? 10.570?
We're not out of grievances. We're not out of the grievances section yet, so you are more than welcome, my friend.
So I have uninstalled. Now, granted, this was a downgrade, then an upgrade, and then a reset, and a restore. So it's a clean install with a backup restored on it. I have uninstalled the stock AT&T apps 3 times. They keep coming the fuck back like mad.
The store is bad. The store is bad.
It is
so
bad.
I don't know if you saw me post this morning. Last night I was like, okay, just so that I'm ready when 75 comes out, I'm gonna go through the Windows Insider app. I'm gonna say and re-enroll to fast configuration again, right? I'm just gonna do this real quick. It made me reboot, and I thought, well, that was weird. I was already fast, so why is it kind of doing this? Okay, whatever. So it rebooted, showed the gears for like 45 minutes. And I'm like, this is not just the config update. Something weird's happening here. I woke up this morning to 200 plus apps in the app list showing pending because they were all being restored from the store again for some crazy reason. Furthermore, for the last week, it has been trying to update Subway Surfers, and I couldn't, this is what killed me, I couldn't uninstall that game from the phone. Even after I canceled the failed update in the store, I couldn't uninstall the game from the phone. It was the weirdest thing. So the store on mobile is seriously borked up. Real bad.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
and if you're in 72 and it still is, again, just another example of something that somebody coming from iOS and Android would not put up with.
Oh, well, now it's telling me there's a glance screen update available. If I go into their extras and info, the setting's not there, but the glance screen still works. Because I made a point of, when I was at 8.1, I made a point to go into glance and set it up so it would carry through the upgrade and then carry through the reset.
That was your failed setting restore, I bet.
Possibly, but now it's saying that there's an actual update. So we're going to see. Earlier, I was getting that on that same update notification on the 920, and it kept failing every single time. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the failing updates randomly.
And the slow downloads. My God.
Slow downloads are terrible.
If this is a universal app,
yeah.
I want to know what it is about the two different platforms that's causing so much angst on mobile.
So here's what I have noticed. If you watch, so I'm writing a universal app at work. And when I submit it to the store, the bundle that I submit, which has x86, x64, and ARM in it, is about 45 meg. Okay, so I submit this bundle up. But of course, if you're pulling down for any of the individual platforms, it's roughly a third, right? So figure 15 meg for any one of the individual platforms. If you watch the store do its download, when it says it's downloading the app, it'll say 00 of 45 meg. And you're like, okay. And then it'll go to about 0.6 meg, and then that 45 will swing. will shrink to 8 meg, and then it'll continue the download. So it's doing like some negotiation of the whole size bundle versus the size for the individual platform after it determines that there's an update to be had. I think somewhere in there, something crazy is going wrong and or being throttled, or I can't really see. There's no way to make you the center of attention. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Error.
Yep. Yeah. All the time we get those.
Motion.
All the time.
Compliance, both error. So,
And you just have to leave it because tomorrow it'll work.
how likely are you to recommend this build of Windows 10 to a friend or colleague?
I love that prompt. I
How
love that prompt
timely
so
was
much.
that?
I love that prompt so much.
Yes. Not likely at all. Actually, I'll give you a 2. Yeah,
That's funny.
anywho.
All right. Andrew Long, what are your grievances, my friend?
So, since you guys went on for so long, I actually thought of one. So,
that's why we did it.
when the clock turns midnight tonight, this Back to the Future day will be over forever, correct?
Yes.
Forever.
There could be only one. It's like fucking Outlander.
That's it.
Highlander. You meant Highlander.
Outlander, what the fuck ever.
That's my grievance.
Very good.
That's your grievance? So are you a big Back to the Future geek?
Nope.
Why is it your grievance that this day will be over then?
The day is...
That's not the grievance.
The day itself
The grievance that the day is happening.
Oh, I see.
And there was
So my
a
son-
huge build up to it, and
Yeah,
it's like we've
my
been
son,
hearing
he's
about it
7.
for months.
My son's 7 and he gets an iPad at school, to play on or whatever. And he said, "So Dad, there's this movie called Back to the Future, and its words were like all over our screen today. Everywhere we went, it said Back to the Future on everything we went to." We said, "It's something about today. What is this?" And so I explained to him, try explaining time travel to a 7-year-old. It was hilarious when as I'm explaining it to him, it makes sense to me, but I can see his brain exploding.
That's the kind of thing you need to
As I'm
record
like-
and put on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know. As I'm like, okay, so like 30 years ago, they did this movie, and in the movie, they traveled to October 21st, and right there, his brain just went, what? What do you mean they traveled to today? I don't understand those words. It was so awesome.
That's cool.
And he said, "So they do this every day?" And I said, "No." "So will they do this next year?" "No." "This is the only time ever." "Well, but it'll happen again." "No."
Oh,
It was funny. It was pretty funny.
Now, the joy you'll get when you actually sit down with him when he's old enough to appreciate the movie and really understand it and watch the trilogy again, he'll be like, I get it.
Right. I thought it was pretty neat what Lyft is doing in New York City. I wonder how much that cost them.
what are they doing? I'll buy.
Something with DeLoreans.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
no,
bought like 12 DeLoreans, or they bought like a fleet of DeLoreans, DMC 12s, and they decked them all out Back to the Future style.
And they put the
And if
pink
you requested
mustaches
a ride
on
on
them too.
Lyft, I didn't see a picture with mustaches on them. I just saw the whole like 6 of them like lined up. But supposedly, and then if you got a Lyft in New York City today, you rode in a DeLorean.
Wow.
Oh.
Way to spend that VC money.
Yep. Do something. Okay, affirmations.
Okay then.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Anyone? Bueller?
I passed 200,000 downloads of my apps.
Congratulations!
God, Andrew.
Everything else I've already talked about. Oops. I didn't say that as part of the 10.572 build launch. Gabe did say in the release notes that the start screen issues that they've fixed some issues with the start screen. And I am greatly hopeful that I will once again be able to see and use my start screen in all of its former glory. Hopeful, Bobby. I'm not ecstatic and preaching and saying it's the best build ever.
No. That sigh was totally because I think you've been a little bitch about it. You should have just fucking done a hard reset like a month ago. Instead of just sitting there dealing with it, I would have done a reset and started all over again. But no, you couldn't do that. So
it took enough for me to condense my start screen down to one visible area. That was already painful enough. I'm not going to reset the whole damn phone. Almost did. I almost did. But then I didn't.
Edge just crashed. Awesome quality.
I've never had Edge crash on me.
Mobile or desktop?
Desktop.
Yeah, I haven't had it crash on me, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. You have a lot of Edge crashes. You've talked about that before. I've never had Edge crashes.
Maybe you need to Edge not so much.
No, we don't use Twitter Web.
See, well, I think that's part of the problem. I don't necessarily think it's. I'll give Edge. I don't think this particular issue is all Edge's fault. My knocks.
If it hurts when you bang your head against the wall, don't bang your head against the wall.
My knocks on Edge really have more to do with.
Are you docking while you're edging?
The lack of features like extensions and ad blocking, not docking, but blocking, than actual crashy stuff. Some people have. My issues with Twitter is specifically that sometimes the mouse will just fucking quit working. I can't scroll, can't do anything unless I refresh the
Twitter.
Or the clicks will stop. Nothing. I can't click on a link. Does nothing.
Use TweetDeck, my friend. Switch to TweetDeck.
Who are you talking to?
Who?
Brandon.
Are
you talking to Robert about using TweetDeck?
Yes, he's talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. No.
Use it in Edge.
Do you use TweetDeck?
I use it in Chrome.
Just use the whole desktop app, the TweetDeck desktop app.
I don't have any problems.
Don't use it inside a browser.
I've used it in both Chrome and Edge and didn't have any problems with it. It runs better in Chrome than Edge, but I don't have a problem with it in either one. Really.
I hate like web applications. It's like the whole reason why I flipping hate Google. I don't want to have a browser open to do my work. I cannot work like that. When I see a browser open on my computer, 9 times out of 10, within the next 15 to 20 minutes, it'll be closed. And because I cull my tabs religiously. I'm not one of these guys who has like 47 tabs open. So,
I guess being a web developer, I kind of approach that a little bit differently. Since I do almost all of my work, at least looking at my work in a web browser.
Yeah, I can't.
And then when I need to figure out how to do something on Stack Overflow or somewhere else, try to teach myself how to do it.
All right. Is Andrew Long's employer listing?
It doesn't matter.
Wow. So who can we give an affirmation to this week? Who's deserving?
Well, Joe Belfiore for getting out while the getting's good.
Is it really good though? I mean,
hey,
getting out.
Might as well go out with announcements of.
He's kind of the face.
Go out on top and continue him in the 950. Just continue him in 950. I'm out. I don't care what happens after this.
Well, I think it's good.
I was going to give an affirmation for the Surface Book reviews. Were all released today, and the ones I saw at least were, not exclusively positive. There's a couple of little things I saw.
I didn't see anybody bitching about the design while closed like I expected. I expected more people to just be slamming on that. The fact that when it closes, it looks like this, Yeah,
I mean, it's more just, I think, a visual thing. I'm not that crazy about it. The one thing I saw that did kind of pique my interest were some mentions about the tablet or digital clipboard portion being a little wobbly while it's attached. I saw a couple mentions of that, and that's maybe a little bit disconcerting. Like I get,
because that's like the first thing anybody notices when they poke the screen on my Yoga is how the thing wobbles when you hit it. So if reviewers are commenting about that on the Surface Book, and I don't remember people commenting on it when the Yoga came out, that tells me it's worse than it is on the Yoga, which I don't know if I could tolerate that.
You won't know till you.
And I have the Yoga Pro 1. I think it's gotten better over the generations, but
You won't know till you go get hands on.
yeah. They had one at the Mall of America store up here, but it was broken when I got there.
the other thing
something
I've learned about the Surface Book today, which I found a little bit interesting, I guess. I was watching Brad Sams was doing a Periscope earlier with his review unit, and while there's no kickstand on the tablet portion of the Surface Book for when you have it detached, which I guess makes sense because it seemed kind of superfluous while you have it attached to the keyboard. But it seems like that would be a nice thing to have for when you do have it detached.
But why?
If you want to set it down and maybe write on it, you don't want to hold it while you're writing on it.
I'm just thinking of like when you have the kickstand out on the Surface
Or
or
if you
Surface
use
Pro.
it, I don't know if you would use it to just watch a video or something, but that would be another scenario you might want to just have it sitting down.
Yeah.
But apparently also
Yeah,
too, the battery life for just the tablet is only a couple hours.
3-4 hours.
Well, that's the rating, but from the reviews I read, the actual usage is going to be about 2 hours.
I can make no compelling justification for purchasing that device at this time.
But you have an SP4,
I think-
though, right? So I mean, you've got a fairly new.
Yeah, it'll do.
Well, I think that the justification from my perspective, I think that would be one hell of a dev laptop.
Oh, no
that's-
doubt.
That's my justification. I mean, running a Yoga Pro 1, that as a dev laptop would be superb. It would just be phenomenal. 16 gigs of RAM, 512, or the terabyte configuration. The horsepower that it's got to run Visual Studio and Hyper-V and all that stuff. It would be amazing. That's my justification. I'm not going to use it for. I'm not going to hammer on the GPU the way AutoCAD would, granted, but I'm sure I'll be tapping into it a little bit with a Visual Studio and a Blend and a Hyper-V or two running on the thing. So,
High def
and especially if you're going to open more than one tab in Chrome, having that extra GPU will really help out a lot. Let's be honest. And an extra battery. I mean, shit.
Because she's a hungry
If we're
little
gonna keep
bitch,
doing
that
these-
girl.
Yeah, if we're going to be doing these blab things or using the Slack desktop app, you're all up in Chrome's business, and Chrome is all up in your batteries.
Yeah, Chrome is using 32% of my CPU, 34%, 35%.
So freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sucking up some juice.
I don't use the Slack desktop app either. I use that in Chrome.
Well, it's the same thing.
I mean,
Well,
this thing's got 16 gigs in it. 30% is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, from a memory standpoint, what am I running there? Let's see. Yeah, 19%. Right now, Chrome. I've got one tab open in Chrome. It's at 134 megs.
I thought you were going to say 134%.
No, 134 megs. And that's just one tab. That's the Blab tab.
Blab tab.
Blab tab. But it's 30. Yeah, it's right now. It's at 35% of my CPU. That's a lot.
Chrome?
Yes.
Huh. Mine's 5% with TweetDeck, Slack, and Microsoft Store tabs. Okay. Actually, I take that back. That's also with the Blab going as well.
Yeah, I don't know why it's using up so much of mine.
Google Chrome is using 36% of my available CPU right now.
Yeah.
One Google Chrome instance. I have one tab open in Chrome, and I can see 3 Google Chrome instances in the top of my task
Let's see
manager.
here. Oh, looky there.
Using a
two.
combined 43 plus 5, using a combined 48% of my i7. Half of my i7 CPU is directed at Google Chrome executables at this moment.
Oh, wait a minute. I spoke too soon. I was only looking at the apps. I
You
was
found
looking at
the other one, didn't you? You found the
Oh,
other.
snap.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's almost half.
Yep.
And mine's pushing 80%.
Oh, correction. Hold on a second. Let me count up all my Google Chromes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Google Chrome instances showing in Task Manager, and I have one tab open in actual Google Chrome at this moment.
My God.
Google Chrome is a selfish lover.
Exactly what you
One
would
of those
expect from
instances-
Sergey and Larry and Eric Schmidt.
Yeah, one of those instances floats around 40%.
I feel pretty well violated now.
Oh, wait, hold on. And I have one instance of the Slack app open, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Slack executables running on the machine at this time, using a combined 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 527 megs of RAM for Slack. Good God. Everything's broken and nobody cares. Oh, sorry. Add on one more instance of Slack. Good grief. It's amazing. It's just amazing. What else you guys want to talk about?
I don't know.
I had a couple plugs.
Go for it.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, Atlee Hunter has developed Tartan, Tartan, which is a Slack app for Windows. I believe it's Windows 10. I don't know if the 10 one is out for desktop yet, but at least for phone 8.1 and higher. So you don't have to wait for Windows 10 mobile to play with it. Go get it. It's a really solid Slack app. I like it a lot.
I'm going to
he's
look at
done
it right now.
He's done a really good job on it. He worked really hard, and I think it's really decent. It does have multi-team support, which I believe is something that the Slack app still does not have for Windows Phone, and possibly iOS and Android, maybe. Marco Siccardi, you guys may know him as MSICC, MSIC on Twitter. He is working on Unishare for Windows 10. Universal app, so it's working on the phone and the desktop, and I'm part of that beta, and it's actually working really well. He's made a lot of good progress. I don't want to spoil any of the upcoming features, so I'm not going to tell you some of the super cool stuff that it does, but he does have it working for phone and desktop, Windows 10 Universal Unishare beta. I have a feeling that if you were to mention, give a shout out to him on Twitter, he might, let you in on the beta and give you some access to it. Unishare is one of my favorite tools as a Windows Phone guy. A lot of times when you see me share articles about Windows Phone news or really any news, 9 times out of 10 you'll see that it came from Unishare. I use it to share to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn simultaneously. So it's a really, really cool tool. Highly recommend it. Those are the only 2 plugs I had.
Cool. I've got a plug too. I just built a new website called rotogolfstats.com. That's ROTO, short for Rotisserie, golfstats.com. And it is for daily fantasy golf players. It's a tool to help you get statistical analysis to help you with choosing your teams. So check that out. Ping me on Twitter if you want. I'll give you a code for 3 months of access. Yes.
So something like that. Are you doing a whole bunch of fancy math that we didn't know you were capable of in order to develop statistics and projections?
No, it's
Or are you
all
just
it's
feeding
fairly
numbers
it's
and
fairly
everything?
simple math, really.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm doing is pulling in statistical data. Much like any other sport, there's a ton of different stats that are tracked. So then what I let the users do is you can build a formula, picking and choosing, from 2 on up, different stats. So say like you want to use the driving distance, par 4 birdies, or stats like that, scrambling. You combine those stats, and then basically you can add up the ranks for all the players in each of those stats and create a cumulative ranking that way.
Cool.
That's what it's doing.
Very nice.
Roberto,
You gonna make an app for that?
I don't know. It's a terrific terrific responsive website, so it works well on your mobile browser.
You should.
Wow, look at you.
No.
I'm thinking.
Oh,
about
that actually brings me back to one of my grievances.
Oh,
My new grievance. But I'll let Bobby go if he's got a plug.
No, that just sounded a little lazy to me, that whole, well, I'll just rely on the mobile website.
Oh, listen to that.
Sorry.
yeah. Okay, you're right. I guess I should build an iPhone app for it.
Oh! Have fun in Objective-C, or Swift if they don't change how the for loop works. So, you guys saw the news that Xamarin bought some Java startup?
No, I did not see that news, actually.
You didn't see this?
No.
So, Xamarin bought this company called Roto, R-O-T-O, kind of like Roto Golf
Oh,
Stats,
interesting.
but called Roto VM. I have to imagine that the VM stands kind of for Java VM, right? And basically, they're bringing this Roto VM startup, which was all surrounding Java, into the Xamarin fold, which kind of made me raise my eyebrow because I was pretty sure that the whole promise of Java was to be cross-platform.
Right?
Am I
Once
missing
on anywhere?
That's kind of what I thought they said. So I'm a little curious as to what Xamarin is doing up in that business. But I guess we'll find out.
Huh. As we speak, I'm testing Roto Golf Stats in the Edge browser on Windows Mobile.
Doesn't it strike you as a little odd that Oracle would get rid of all of its Java evangelists and then Xamarin would go, yay, Java?
Right. I thought that we had kind of conceded that nobody liked Java and everybody wants it to go the way of the dodo bird. Apparently Xamarin thinks that them in their infinite wisdom can resurrect it from the dead.
Good luck to
I
you.
think the only thing Java has going for it is Android. And
Good luck, Tom.
You have anything to plug,
All right, folks.
Robert?
Did you really just ask me that question? No, I don't have anything to plug.
You didn't just plug something, did you?
oh my God!
No. Sorry. I apologize, audience of 0 or 2 or however.
18.
18. No, that's
Yeah, but not right now.
yeah, that's 18 total.
Not all at once.
That's the definition of that word you were talking about earlier this week.
What the hell happened?
Are you
Oh my-
okay? He's dying.
Did we do that to him?
Right about now is when I really wish I could mute myself.
Something,
can.
Is something triggering your gag reflex?
Oh my god.
What's that all about?
Jeez.
Something.
You can't mute yourself on this damn thing.
Well, don't
Can't we mute you?
No.
Can
Not
you
for the
hear him,
whole show.
Robert?
Yeah, I can.
Or am I-
Yes.
Oh, so I just muted him for
You
myself.
can't. Yeah, you don't have that kind of granular control.
I've got a really bad cough still,
Sounds like it.
and you guys are just triggers.
Sorry, I am a walking trigger warning. What can I say?
Yep. Alrighty then.
So we put this one to bed.
Put it to bed. Kill it.
By the way, one more Back to the Future prediction is about to go crumbling down in flames because the Cubs are about to get eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, good. I'm glad that it will have put that nonsense to bed once and for all.
Okay, so we're wrapping it up.
Yeah,
I'm entering my two-step verification code. Oh my god.
you two-step verifying. What are you doing?
Me? Sorry.
Oh, Slack was so nice to send me an email telling me that Tartan wasn't just installed. And I hope that that developer over at Slack got a nice firm jab right in his asshole when that email went out.
Well done.
There's plenty of them over there that deserve it. I think we just have it. Both current and former.
Oh my God, I just can't even. Somebody asked me if I would ever consider working at Slack, and I would just assume be homeless. I really would.
You would
I don't even know any of these people personally, but what I have seen from their outward presentation, and I'm sure no shortage of people feel the same way about me, but I couldn't be around them all day without going postal on either myself or them.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that at all.
It's just, and that's I don't know if that says more about me than it does about them, but that's just the way I feel about that subject.
Definitely a less than favorable impression they've given the Windows Phone community.
Yeah, well, just in
Suffice to say.
in general. Oh well.
Well, on that note,
We love you, Slack.
we do love Slack. Slack's a great.
We use it literally every day.
And we apparently won't be using GroupMe for much longer.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up. Oh,
I
did
think
anybody
I
see
just-
that tweet?
Yeah,
That was an epic tweet.
That was
just-
an awesome tweet.
finally uninstalled the GroupMe app, like within the last week. We'll never go there again. And
I just thought it was funny because if you watch the GroupMe Twitter feed, you see literally like 4 hours. Well, when you posted that in the Slack room, it was like 4 hours prior. GroupMe was answering support questions. Hey, send us email from support. Oh, we're great to hear that. Oh, we're sorry this didn't work out. Da 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 da. And all of a sudden, bam! Well, a bunch of people got laid off at GroupMe today. So if you need support, good luck. It was awesome. It was so great. Oh, it was great. Just go back and read the GroupMe Twitter. It's hilarious.
They deleted the tweet, didn't they?
They deleted the tweet. Yep.
I hope. Well, people screenshotted it. I hope.
Oh yeah. Well, at least the one guy, right?
Yeah.
And I retweeted that shit.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That sucks. That really sucks.
So sorry, GroupMe, but that's the price of acquisition. You really shouldn't be surprised by this at all.
Well,
So I assume that all is getting rolled into Skype or something like that.
Well, I mean, you think about the way Skype is going now. Skype is actually just getting rolled into that big fat messaging app now.
I mean,
Link.
Skype's getting rolled into there, and Skype bought GroupMe. So what the hell did GroupMe think was going to happen?
It's all a
Layoffs
cluster.
are not fun.
Nope, they're not.
I just personally witnessed one. It's not fun.
Yeah, I've never been a part of one. Knock on wood. So, never witnessed nor been a part of. So.
I have never been laid off, knock on wood, but I have witnessed. I have been in an environment of layoffs, and I have actually had to lay off somebody.
That's
I
probably
never
the
want that
worst.
kind of.
That's even
I never want
worse
that kind
than
of
getting laid
responsibility.
off.
Yeah, that just oh god, having to sit there and tell somebody that they can't come to work tomorrow. Oh Jesus, that's
I could. Oh man, I never want that kind of responsibility ever.
yes. We know you have a child and a wife and a housemate.
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna have to say goodbye. Oh Jesus, that just sucks ass.
God. See, we're really nice people, y'all. We might really seem like assholes, but we really have hearts.
Well, assholes have hearts too.
I have one, and it's hooked up to an electronic device. Even
One heart and one asshole.
I should have wired that to fit. Never mind.
Oh, come on now. Really? Really?
I didn't finish the thought audibly.
Hey, Bobby, you'd be proud of me. So tonight at church group, we had to talk with somebody else in church group that we didn't know. And we had to talk about... No, you asshole. So we had to talk with another person in the group and tell them like about ourselves. And they had to tell us, blah, 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 get to know each other, kind of icebreaker kind of deal. I didn't bring up my kidney thing once all night.
How hard was that for you?
It was really hard.
And that was only because you were in church.
No, it's because you assumed everybody already knows.
No, I'm new to this church. I've only been there for a year.
That's plenty of time for that to go around.
He's not gonna go commit the sin of vanity while he's right there in the building. not even he's that ballsy.
Yep. So I didn't even bring it up. Who's
Well, I'm
thumping on the
proud.
desk? What is that sound?
That's Andy.
What's he doing?
I wasn't doing anything.
Thump, 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 thump.
All you can see is his arm and nothing from the
Right, yeah. Right.
There's one
Seems-
hand.
It seems like there's video
Where's the
playing
other?
over on the corner.
That's
What do you
just
got
a
on the
baseball
TV
game.
over there, Andrew? Oh, it's just a baseball game.
I'm not Archie Coder. I need a little better material.
The
to-
baseball game on channel
Yeah, make magic
942.
and privacy. I'm sure. Is another
Well, the
thing.
door to the office is closed.
Well, something
Hey, I don't
you-
know if you guys knew this. Did you guys know that Ginny Coggy,
Oh, stop it! Don't even.
she pre-ordered a Surface Book.
Oh my. I'm gonna block you on Twitter too. There's a way to block people in Slack, probably, isn't there?
Nope.
Let's see.
Nope.
Brandon, right?
If there is to be one, I'm sure Paul Betts will figure out a good use for it.
Well, he'll just pop into your team uninvited and
I
tell
just
y'all that
clicked
you're
it.
talking too much.
I clicked an X next to your name, Brandon. I don't know if that did anything or not. I was just on direct messages though, so
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
deleted all the direct messages that we haven't sent each other.
That we haven't sent each other. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
Well, kids, are we done?
Bobby's got to go to bed.
Yeah, I gotta get ready for bed too. I have to get up and go into work in the morning.
It's really late over there on the East Coast or on the West Coast. It's like 7:30.
Well, the sun's down.
Sun's
Sun's
down.
down. We go to bed around here.
That's the dirtiest thing that's been said on the show all night.
We go down around here. Yeah. Well, we do.
Oh, come on now.
All right, well done, boys.
All right.
I think this
wasn't
was
bad.
great.
This wasn't half bad.
Let's do it again.
Have a pleasant
Sometime.
evening, all.
Whenever Andrew decides he wants to go ahead and just fire
Hey.
one up, whenever.
Robert's got the keys. He can start this stuff.
I
up,
do
too.
have the keys. He hadn't taken them back, which I think
No.
reflects poorly on his mental state. But
It all
That's
all
all
goes back
sure.
to my laziness.
Decision-making
that's
abilities.
All right, guys. Good night.
Later.
Good night.
Ciao.